Armchair commanders, we call the shots. From our living room thrones where the action's hot. We're the generals of fiction, the masters of war. In silver screen battles with buttered popcorn. Armchair commanders, armchair commanders.
All right, welcome to the Armchair Commanders podcast. My name is John.
And I'm Jack.
And this week we are reviewing probably one of the greatest films of all time, Team America, World Police.
You're goddamn right we did. What a fucking spectacle this movie was. Man, yeah, this is patriotic as fuck. I can't believe this movie's 20 years old.
It's 20 years old.
Yeah, it came out in 2004. You're welcome.
You know, oddly enough, I do remember as a kid seeing the movie poster for this at the movie theater on base, and I was very confused.
You guys had a movie theater?
Yeah, we had a fucking movie theater on base.
See, whenever you talk, like, I don't know what life is like as a military brat. So whenever you say you were on base, I imagine you fuckers like in a barrack getting woken up. I said singular barracks, that's weird. But in barracks, getting woken up at 5 to train to be child soldiers or something.
No, I lived in a house. Granted, it was a house built in the 50s and had lead paint and asbestos, but I lived in a house nonetheless.
That explains so much about you, but continue.
I was going to say, I just remember seeing it and not understanding it one bit, because I was like 7 or 8. And I understood what South Park was because, you know, what kid didn't secretly watch South Park when their parents told them not to?
Oh, yeah.
It was like from the creators of South Park. And it was a fucking puppet movie. And I'm like, what? And, you know, obviously there was no way I was going to talk my parents into letting me see it. So it took a while before I got to see Team America.
So, yeah. I wasn't a military brat. I was a ranch bitch growing up. So there's a sizable population of ranch kids. I didn't grow up in a kind of family like this, but ranches produce some of like the cream of the fucking crop of adults. Let me tell you what. There's a lot of families.
Cream of the crop of idiots, but
yes, cream of the crop of idiots. Let's not beat around the bush here. It's like this laissez-faire parenting that they have going on, where we don't give a fuck what you drink or what drugs you do. If we need you here to do this job, you're fucking here and you're fucking doing that job and you ain't gonna complain. Now, this leads to fucked up adults, but there is a lot of my peers growing up that drank and watched this movie, and man, we would talk about it at our little get-togethers. And the way me and my brothers saw it is through our cousins. Thanks, cousins, by the way. If you're listening to this, I doubt you are. But my brother managed to sweet talk them and let us borrow the DVD for a while, which we watched on our Xbox. And we had like this big old get together with all of our ranch buddies. We watched this movie late at night, and my God, it just changed my life. For the better, for the worst, I'm not even sure.
I mean, it is one of probably the most quotable movies out there.
It came in like that time of 2003 to arguably 2008, possibly early 2009, of like the 2000s core of movies. That this is before the political correctness virus took over. I'm being facetious, by the way, before y'all at me. But it was just like, it was almost this golden era of comedy movies almost. Because going on simultaneously was what people would later call the platinum era of TV, the 2000s. And it's just, this was before internet memes, right? So guys would just hang out together, maybe drink a bit, and just quote Anchorman or Tropic Thunder or presciently Team America, for example. This was our memes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something like it's carried over because like I don't even know how many fucking times we have referenced this movie in other episodes we've done. I mean,
Right?
we
I have a
typically.
soundbite for this movie, from this movie too. America, fuck yeah! And the
Well,
other
yeah, that's
sword.
our one of our metrics of rating a film is like when we discuss with people, when we've had guests on, we've used the term, we're like, yeah, this is a very like America fuck yeah type film, and it directly relates to this film where Trey Parker and Matt Stone did a wonderful job of kind of poking fun of and illustrating kind of the jingoistic attitudes of the time, because this was like a year after we invaded Iraq, and very America fuck yeah,
Yeah,
like freedom fries in Congress type time frame.
and this was inevitable. I knew this was going to get brought up, and the fact that it was brought up 6.5 minutes into this podcast is just, it's unavoidable. Okay, just okay, and just GWAT and the effects it had on our culture, specifically the Patriot Act, 9/11. Yeah, Mountain Dew Pitch Black never returning.
Freedom isn't free.
No, there's a hefty fucking
Fucking
fee.
fee. Yeah, no, it's
Freedom costs $1.05.
yeah. I love the fact that like not only is it this movie, but it's something that has bled over into like multiple episodes of South Park too. Like South Park got to like kind of trial run some of the Team America jokes.
Yeah, just the memes that came out of both this movie and South Park. Oh my god, that could be a podcast in and of itself. Just
If you don't like it, you can get out.
Get out.
You gonna live?
Fuck, that hurt my throat. But anyway,
Not as much as sucking Spot's wood stick.
it was an act of trust. It wasn't gay.
I need you to suck my dick, Gary.
Please, Gary, this is about trust.
This is more than gay.
Here, I'll even check if anyone's watching. No one's watching. Like,
that's going to be the fucking hashtag when I post the release of this episode. It's just hashtag this is more than gay.
That's another thing I was going to bring up too earlier is so like the subtleties of this movie about the whole American criticism of American foreign policy. They are the face we put on for the rest of the world. The quote unquote pussies being the anti-war liberals and the dicks being the jingoistic conservative chicken hawks. That was all just lost on me as a kid.
Yeah, I just thought it was a funny fucking like when I was a kid and the first time I watched it, I was probably like a teenager actually the first time I actually watched it. But like the first time I watched it was right around the time my dad retired from the military and we moved to rural Iowa, which is already like a very conservative America fuck yeah kind of mentality type place. And then like it was about that time I joined the Boy Scouts, and my Boy Scout leaders were two retired Marines. So like at that point, like America fuck yeah wasn't a joke. It was like America fuck yeah was literally like, yeah, this song kicks fucking ass. You know, it took me a long time to catch up to the satire of it.
Yeah, and it's a very biting satire as well, and very timely too. Like this came out in 2004, was probably in production during the invasion of Iraq.
Yeah, I had to look it up because I was like, I remember watching some interviews with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and one of my favorite episodes of South Park is Sexual Harassment Panda.
The birds and the bees and the willow trees, sexual harassment,
Harassment Panda.
panda.
That makes me a sad panda.
When
Um,
one panda sticks his willy in the ear of another panda, that's sexual harassment.
anyways, during this interview, they were talking about how they got so wrapped up in the movie making process that like most of the season, like one of the episodes, they're like, "We fucking hate sexual harassment panda, and we don't even remember making it."
Yeah, I read about
But
that too, that they were so hungover.
but that was in reference to like them being so like tired and overworked during South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut.
Heh.
So I was kind of disappointed that Sexual Harassment Panda was not a result of Team America.
Which that segues perfectly into my next point. Apparently, this movie was fucking hell to make.
Oh, I could only imagine, and it, puppetry is not an easy thing, and
No.
like they I find it hilarious that they enlisted the help of probably the best puppeteers at the time, who made such classics as Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Um, but like that was the only way they were able to do it is because they had those guys as help.
I'm pretty
Um,
sure they also had the guys from some of the original guys from Thunderbirds helping them out. I'm not sure about that, but
I'm not sure about that, but like there was definitely like all the vehicles for Team America was obviously a joke or a satire of the Thunderbirds.
it started raining where I'm at. But anyway,
But you talk about the difficulty of it, like you can just tell because there are some scenes like there are moments when you watch people when they're making them walk, and it's hilarious because they're walking all kinds of fucked up, but also it's like, oh, they're puppets. This is fucking hard to do, um, or marionettes, if you will. Um, but one of the best gags, or one of the many quotable moments in this movie, the Matt Damon.
that became a meme.
Yeah, that had nothing, like they had no beef against Matt Damon. They literally like it I remember this being in one of their interviews also. They just were like, yeah, we were making all of these puppets, and the Matt Damon puppet kind of just came out really fucked up, and we didn't have time to fix it. So that's how Matt Damon
They
became.
changed his dialogue.
Yeah. That they're like, the Matt Damon puppet looks fucked up, so we're going to make him look like he's mentally handicapped.
And also, I don't know how he reacted to that. I kind of want to look that up now, but
I think, if I remember correctly, I think he thought it was hilarious.
but um,
Matt Damon.
one of my favorite South Park episodes. Hello, everybody. I'm Russell Crowe, and this is Fighting Around the World. When he got in like 3 different bar fights on 3 different continents within a couple months of each other. They just made an entire episode roasting him about how he's a hothead that likes to pick fights with people. And he took it like a champ, really. He said that was one of his favorite episodes and he thought it was hilarious.
I like Tugger.
Tiger shot himself.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I love it when celebrities take it on the like I will never be in a position where I will have a South Park character, but if I ever was, like, I would be so fucking stoked. I don't even care what they would make me say or do in their show. The fact that I was on South Park, I would just be astounded.
Lord thought of her Randy Marsh being her was hilarious.
See, that makes me happy.
I am Lord, yeah.
You know who probably did not take this well was Ben Affleck.
You know, I I didn't hate in particular his acting in Pearl Harbor,
No,
but I
not
did hate
not Ben
that
Affleck.
movie.
Fucking Alec Baldwin. For some reason, my brain always flips those two.
So I promise you this is related to what the point is I'm getting at, but did you watch much Black Dynamite on Adult Swim?
Nah, I never really got into it.
Great show, I think. But one of the episodes, his longtime best friend OJ Simpson comes to visit him, and him and OJ or Simpson are rivals because keep in mind this series is set in the 70s, and OJ Simpson was widely loved by the public at this time for being so wholesome and lovable. And Black Dynamite just has this brash, abrasive personality, and not as many people like him. And the entire episode, I think, yeah, he's the bad guy secretly, OJ Simpson. And towards the end, Black Dynamite,
Secretly,
what?
said secretly OJ was the bad guy.
Shut the fuck up. But like towards the end, Black Dynamite dramatically says, "Mark my words, O.J. Simpson, there will come a day where you won't be the most loved man in America anymore." And I think that part of the episode resonates very well with the scenes with Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin? He's the best actor in the world. How am I supposed to compete with that? And then he fucking killed that woman on the set of Rust.
Yeah, and then he got away with it.
Which I I'm not going to pretend to know the intricacies of American law. That's a whole thing. People go to school for it for like 8 fucking years. And even then, I like to think that not even they have an understanding of it, given how many lawyers I know that are just flying by the seat of their pants, really.
You know, Miranda was giving me shit earlier because she's like, "You still haven't let me come onto the show and do Legally Blonde." I'm like, "Legally Blonde is not a fucking war movie."
She's at war with the patriarchy, keeping
Shut the
her.
fuck up. I
No, fuck you. I'm with Miranda on this one.
I told her we could do it as a fucking April Fool's Day episode.
You mean Women's Day episode? You fucking sexist. You
For a
bitch.
second, I thought you were saying that Women's Day was on April Fool's Day.
No.
I I was like,
Women's Day is
that's
no
kind of
joke.
I was like, that's a multi-layered misogynistic statement right there. I don't know to be offended or impressed.
Whichever impresses you more. That's what I meant. Fuck you. But
Okay.
it is the sincerest opinion of this podcast that women can do anything a man can, and sometimes better.
Most of the time, better.
We support women's rights. But anyway, yeah, no, like I agree 100%. She should do Legally Blonde on the podcast one of these days. And if I find a girl stupid enough to marry me, maybe she can do it with her. If not, I'm sure there's a girl downtown I can pay $50 to do the pit podcast with her.
That sounds borderline problematic. But anyways,
Motherfucker, you were just talking about human trafficking last episode. Don't give me that shit.
you want to give me shit? What is with all the stupid Vietnamese cooking videos you keep sending me?
Well, they make me hungry, okay? They make me hungry. I just like
Okay.
all the shitload of food they make at a time. And yeah, okay, the chewing's a bit egregious, but turn the fucking volume down, John. Anyway, but no, this movie's biting satire is amazing. You know, like the music in this movie is just bar none.
Well, that's the thing is like obviously it's not underappreciated now, especially with Book of Mormon winning so many
Oh my
Tony
god,
Awards.
I
But
love that
like
show.
the fact of the matter is like Trey Parker and Matt Stone are really great musical theater, uh, writers and performers. Um, and it's a shame that like this movie didn't win any awards for it because there is genuinely some great songs in it.
Oh, just bangers.
America, fuck yeah!
Yeah, the signature song, America, fuck yeah.
That and the redux of America, fuck yeah, but sad.
America, fuck
Fuck
yeah.
yeah. Um, Probably one of my favorite songs in this is So Round Re, So Round Re. Just fucking Kim Jong Un, like belting out how he's the smartest man in the world, and that makes him lonely and sad.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
I
Yeah,
also
just
forgot that Kim Jong Un was like a thing.
Kim, Kim Jong Il in this movie because
Oh,
he's not dead yet.
that's right. Kim Jong Un is the current fuckstick.
Yeah, his fat ass son is the leader in
Kim Jong
charge.
Il. Remember when he was like him and Osama were like the top two baddies when we were kids.
Fuck, I might even. I think I vaguely remember Edie El Amin being one of the bad guys too.
Yeah, probably.
But he died in 2003, so fuck him. But
Or
yes,
wasn't Gaddafi also shown in this?
was he?
I don't know. I think maybe.
Well, anyway, Saddam, Osama, Kim Jong Il. There's another bad guy, Fidel, because he was alive until 2016.
Yeah, Fidel lived for fucking forever.
Yeah, as scumbags are wont to do.
And Hitler's still down in Argentina.
Yep, the CIA's hiding him from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. We
Anyways,
know you're listening. Toothbrush,
we know you're listening,
dash
Mein Fuhrer. Were you talking about the CIA?
No, shit talking Hitler.
Uh,
Adolf Hitler, more like Adolf Shitler.
I
Got him good.
will
But
say the dialogue at times the dialogue in this film kind of left something to be desired, but honestly that too was a purposeful design of just like we're also mocking just general action films.
we can't do that. It's a suicide mission. It's okay, Spotswood. I kind of feel like dying right now. And this
I like Gary. Oh, you do.
and this movie has one of my favorite jokes in all of cinema where they're being briefed on the mission and Spotswood says to a newly valmorphosized valmorphosized Gary, if you fall into the hands of the terrorists, you may feel the need to take your own life. Here, use this. Slides him a fucking hammer.
I just love Spotswood in general in this film.
There's a great that sets up for a great brick joke later where he's at rock bottom and he's like drinking his sorrows away at a bar and the fucking hammer's right in front of him and he's just staring at it.
The thing I love about Spotswood is he has some great lines in this, but the gag that he has that gets me is the fucking chair that keeps going back and forth when they're on missions. You gotta get to the objective, team.
And then at one point he's upside down.
That kills me every time, is the one moment where he's upside fucking down in his chair.
What does intelligence stand for? Their supercomputer.
I don't know.
That was bothering me.
I think it was just an acronym for the sake of being an acronym. I don't think it stood for actually anything. But
They'll morphinize, that's it. That's just that word they made up to change or transform.
now obviously there's a lot of quotable moments in this movie, and there's a lot of songs that everybody loves to do. But if there's any like one scene that is like the pinnacle of this film that anybody would reference, or like if you were to say Team America, it would be the scene where Gary infiltrates the terrorist cell in Egypt. Quick, they're going down south Bakadakalaka Street.
Bakalagadaka Street. And the fucking cantina theme is playing in the tavern.
Jihad, jihad.
But yeah, this movie's 20 years old, so obviously some of it didn't age well. Like the fact that it's from fucking Durkistan.
Or the fact that Gary is literally wearing a towel as a turban.
And yes, they just put him in brown face and like put a shitty little scraggly beard on him, and it works. They don't even change his clothing.
My God.
But it's uncanny.
The monologue he gives is, I used to know that by heart.
I've had a jihad on them ever since.
The oil fields lit up like the eyes of Allah.
The burning oil rained down.
I heard my sheep cry. There's nothing I could do. Oh, that was great. And, just puppet fucking tears. Oh, yeah, that's also the moment I was texting you earlier. Yes, very clever. I love your balls.
I love your balls. Well, I think we should pull over. That's right. We'll pull over, let them pass, and then charge them. Jesus. They're just sitting in the ruins.
One of them's trying to say something to us.
I think he's saying, kiss me, kiss me. Smart ass motherfucker. If I may take a moment of this episode. I have this friend here.
You have a friend?
Fuck you. One of my two friends, apparently. You, and there's this guy I know in Pier here with me.
That you went to camp with.
Shut the fuck up. No, I didn't go to camp with him, asshole. Anyway, he's my DM, and he also has a YouTube channel. He's a really good friend of mine, and also he's a director. He's directing the current Pure Players show that's set to premiere here in only a couple of weeks. But years ago, he did his very own episode of his own little YouTube show on this movie. And that's one of the things he criticizes is this movie didn't age well in certain regards, particularly the fact that they're from fucking Durkistan. But he did go out of his way to mention and talk about that the fact that this movie is a masterwork of puppetry. Seriously. Like, just the amount of effort and time and work they put into making the puppets work, sometimes days at a time on just one scene. It's just bonkers, just when you think about it all.
I can't even imagine how long it took for them to film the sex scene in this.
Also, I would have gotten him to guest star on this podcast, but he's been super busy with the play, and I didn't want to bother him. His YouTube channel name is The Other Socio, if you want to look him up. I strongly recommend his other material. Good stuff. But shameless plug away. Let's continue. That name
Um,
again is Other Socio. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
well, that's fine. I think this is as good as
Sorry,
it
that was
can.
really inconsiderate of me. I shouldn't have interrupted you.
I'm going to fucking throat punch you.
All right, I'm done now.
Um, I think this is as good a time as any to just, speaking of masterful puppet work, to talk about the like 5 minute long puppet sex scene.
Yep, knew that was coming. Literally.
Heh.
Get it? Because, never mind.
I don't think
Anyway,
puppets can actually come.
they didn't seem to have genitalia, from what I could see.
Yet Lisa had very graphic, large titties.
They were nice for puppetry, you know?
Oh my god. Why do they give
Anyway, have you seen the movie? This it's a documentary. This
Yes,
film
I
is
did
not yet.
watch this movie, Jack.
Ha 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 ha! Shut up, John. But the documentary. This film is not yet rated.
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago,
Wait,
but continue.
wait. When and where did you watch this?
I think college maybe?
What class?
Not like as a class, just like that was the time period.
Oh, okay. Because I watched it for a class in college. Anyway, it just talks about the bullshit that goes into rating a film and just the people on board. I like. I don't even know if you could call them professionals. They're literally just regular people that got hired to do this for some reason. And for one of the early examples they give of this organization's bullshit, um, so you know the film American Pie, right?
Yes.
The same year that came out, there's like this lesbian love film that they rated NC-17 because it had a fully clothed embrace between two women. And they gave an R rating to American Pie, which features a man fucking a pie. Just like asinine things like that. And there's a part in this movie where they talk about Team America, and I think they even interview Trey Parker and Matt Stone, where they said they wanted an R rating, but they didn't want an NC-17 rating, and they knew that the ratings board were a bunch of bitches. So what they did was they made the most outlandish and disgusting sex scene possible. If you watch the uncensored, like unedited version, it involves Gary peeing on Lisa and then Lisa shitting on Gary and just shit like that. And they knew they did that intentionally so the ratings board would hyper focus on that scene and leave alone everything else. So essentially, it was the movie equivalent of Donald Trump's strategy of asking for something ridiculous and then bargaining your way down. Which that's just genius in my opinion. Making the most outlandish scene possible, knowing that you can whittle it down some.
Hmm. Yeah. I learned some new positions from this movie.
Puppet style.
Puppet style.
Yeah, this movie taught me about the birds and the bees, not like that shitty movie they showed in elementary school. And it's like your body is changing. Did you ever get that on the military base, or did you guys just get beaten and forced to do drills?
I didn't have sex ed until like junior year of high school.
I thought you were about to say junior year of college, and I was about to make fun of you.
Well, you see, I got sex ed when I started dating Miranda. She had to
Yeah.
explain a lot of things to me.
So he actually called me in the middle of the night, sophomore year. He's like, Jack, what's sex? And I'm like, okay, dude, just calm down. I've done it loads of times, mostly with your mother, but just hear me, just like breathe, you know? breathe, calm down. You take your penis and then you put it inside her lady parts. But don't pee inside her because then she'll get pregnant.
Jesus. Pee inside them.
Yeah, you pee inside them. That's how babies are made. That's what my cousins told me. They wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah, they would never do that.
Well, anyway, moving right along. When did I get sex ed? Did I ever get sex ed? I don't know. Most of us were fucking by the time high school rolled around anyway. I say most of us in a disassociative sense because I didn't have sex in high school because I remained pure for the Lord up until a week after I turned 18, of course, but then that was the devil's time for me. And he hasn't released his red hold yet.
I'm still waiting.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. Speaking of things that didn't really age well, the Film Actors Guild joke also did not age well either.
Not really, no. The Film Actors Guild.
I still chuckle at it, but I'm like, ooh, that's no bueno.
Yeah, there would certainly be some tweets about that today. Well, back in the early or late 2010s, there'd be some angry tweets about it. Nowadays on Twitter, they'd probably embrace it. Well,
Yeah,
sorry, X.
probably.
Wait, do we have an X?
No, we don't, and we won't.
Good, because I hate Twitter.
I'm staunchly against Elon, so
Yeah,
which is kind of a
Elon's
shame because, like, I actually kind of want a Cybertruck, but I refuse to buy one.
Dude,
A, because I know they're garbage, and B, because I'm not going to willingly give Elon money.
So, dude, it's funny you mentioned that because I was actually texting this morning my friend Relena, and I was like, okay, so I get Elon's trash, and I get that it's not a good concept, but is it wrong? I actually kind of want a Cybertruck.
No, I mean,
somebody in Pier has one. I don't know who.
Do you guys even have fucking charging stations?
No, which makes it even more hilarious. Or at least we don't have charging stations that I'm aware of.
I'm sure there's probably one by the Capitol building, not unless your governor did away with it.
I have no idea, man. Tesla destination charger. Holy shit, do we have one? Fucking where? Well, what the hell? No one told me this.
To answer your question, no, I don't think it's weird to want a Cybertruck.
Okay, so there's one by the hotel by the bridge. Is that it? I think that's it. Well, anyway, yeah. Maybe just for the meme. But I don't think I could, in good conscience, get that right now. Well, financial issues aside, I don't think I could get one right now because it'd feel weird, like, not owning my own place but buying a Cybertruck, It's definitely lower than a house on the list of things I need to buy.
Yeah. I wonder how much it would cost to turn Mount Rushmore into an actual, like, secret base.
I don't think the hardest part would be the cost. I think it would be all the legal red tape you would have to go through.
It's the government. They can do whatever they want.
Oh, shit, you're right. I didn't plan for that.
That's how they made Mount Rushmore to begin with. They just did it.
So are we going to talk about how in this movie Matt Stone and Trey Parker seem to think a jet goes the same speed as a helicopter? No?
No.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Okay, I figured as much.
That is what bugs you? in all of this?
That's literally the only plot hole I could think of.
Just that.
Just that. It's the only issue I got. Well, anyway, let's hear your compunctions about this movie.
Everyone has AIDS.
I did not. I seriously went 20 years of my life without realizing that was a joke about Rent. The fucking play is called. The play that he's in is called Lease, and he sings about everyone having AIDS.
Everyone has AIDS.
Hey, you're that AIDS guy. Hey, sing about how everyone has AIDS. Have you've seen Rent, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
That was fine. It's a very stereotypical musical.
I think it's a little overrated.
It's in the way Rent is the kind of musical where it's like, just like in this film, we need to establish our character as a theater performer. What better way to show that than a Rent ripoff? Because, it's
Right,
very,
that was perfect. Good
that,
job, Gary. You did it again. And then we got that
I just think of
exposition.
the saddest day of my life.
Gary, no!
Monkey Movie Monday.
Before the zookeepers gassed them, they beat him to death. Before the zookeepers gassed them all. Which, after 2016, we know damn well they wouldn't do that. They would just shoot them.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Yeah, gone too soon. Heaven awaits your heart and flowers bloom in your name.
Dicks out.
Dicks out. Yeah. That ties back with the whole
Monkey Movie Monday.
the scenes with Alec Baldwin not aging well either.
Alec Baldwin.
He's the best actor in the world. And I like how they treat acting like it's some Jedi power in this. My God, that's the best acting I've ever seen. He even shows up in like that Obi-Wan cloak and does the "you don't need to see my papers" thing with them, and it works. Well, all right, I'm convinced. Go on in.
Yeah. A1 fight scenes.
Phenomenal. I got your papers right here. Just whips guns out and starts killing people.
As is tradition. This is the
Wait.
American way.
Wait, don't free her. Susan Sarandon's a great actress, yes, but she's starting to show in her old age. You will die a peasant's death! My God, I thought for sure she needed our help. And the cougars. Yeah, the fucking pumas.
They were just regular cats, weren't they?
Yeah, just regular ass cats. And her empath powers work on them. Which, we've been talking about things that haven't aged well. I gotta say, that aged very well.
I'm sensing you're confused.
The amount of, fucking posts I've seen about empaths, aka people with, the most very basic emotional intelligence, saying, I sense that you're being blank and blank. That in and of itself has become a meme.
I'm an empath.
So back to my friend Tyson, aka the other socio. One of his campaigns that I'm not a part of, but he's running with his co-director. They have this running joke where they say, as an empath, I think your character is going through some turmoil right now. They say the most obvious shit, but preface it with saying, as an empath, I think it's raining outside. Then there's that.
You know what I've really gotten into is listening to, there's some podcasts that do D&D campaigns.
I didn't think you liked that kind of thing.
It's not that I don't dislike it. I've never gotten into it because one, I was never invited. Boo-hoo.
Well, shit, we should have a tabletop session sometime. Armchair Commanders podcast, tabletop.
1,000 years forever. Yeah, I enjoy it, but in the way that I enjoy D&D is the way I enjoy like 40K and stuff, where it's like I like learning about it, I like listening to it. I've never really gotten into playing it myself, though.
Be a lot cooler if you did.
My most recent one I've been listening to is the College Humor like team did like a D&D campaign where like it's set in like a high school setting.
Ah,
And their first like boss battle is against the lunch lady who has like cream corn goblins attack them.
this almost sounds like Welcome to Night Vale. If you've ever listened to that podcast,
I have not.
I don't even know how to describe it. It's surreal. Also getting back to Tyson, he ran a game set in the Night Vale universe where our mission was to simply go to the library and check out a book, and half our party died. It was like one of the most fucking brutal campaigns I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of a World War I campaign before.
You know what I think would make for an interesting campaign is like a Team America tabletop game.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like you get docked points or experience for not blowing up a culturally significant item.
American brashness and dickery are encouraged. But I don't know, I don't remember if I told you this or not, but I've been thinking about running my own campaign of something. And
well, if you do, I'll join you.
Yeah, I was gonna say you are invited. And
my stars.
Oh, my stars and garters. It's a tabletop game called Patrol.
And was that the Vietnam one you sent me?
You're goddamn right it was.
Fuck yeah, you know.
All right, I think that's all I can legally play before we get
I was going to say, you're about to get our fucking episode taken down.
But it can be described in 4 words. I ain't no fortunate son.
Honestly, I think we should do that, and we should do it up in a way that we get it onto the to our YouTube channel.
Hell yeah, dude! Kind of don't want to do the video editing, but I'll do the
figure it out.
I'll do the game mastering.
Okay, like I said, we can get it sorted out.
But yeah, I like the way. Excuse me a second. I like the way classes are done in that game. They're done by MOSs, which stands for...
Oh, was I supposed to say something?
Yes. What does MOS stand for?
Military Occupational Specialty.
Right, that. I had you say it because I forgot. But it stands for that. And one of the classes is Firebug, the flamethrower operator. And it even says in the rules, like, the people that sign up for this MOS typically aren't the most mentally there people.
Who would want that?
Not me. But
so what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking the finest of American beers, Bud Light.
Yeah.
And you? Looks good.
I am just about finished with it. It is from the Denver Brewing Company, and it's the Rocky Mountain Lager.
Ooh.
And I have a new glass I'm drinking it out of. Picked it up from the Colorado Springs Comic Con. Front side has the
Ooh.
Judge Dredd logo, and on the back it says, "I am the law." If you'd like to hear our review of Dredd, go back about 30 episodes. Fun fact, this past weekend was when it was. I took Papa Jerry, and it was his first Comic Con.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I am something obviously we didn't get to spend a lot of time together when I was a kid because he was always like deployed and whatnot. Something I've enjoyed as an adult, kind of like forming a relationship with him, is taking him to experience things for the first time. Kind of like when I took him to the Oddities Festival and introduced him to Big Titty Goth Girls for the first time.
I knew that was coming, but I wanted to hear you say it again. He's told me this story before, and I love it.
Or the fact that he also learned what furries were for the first time at the Oddities
Oh
Expo.
God, I suppose the good book says the good Lord giveth and the good Lord taketh, but
I was like, Dad, stop staring. No, you cannot. Ask him, what does the fox say?
oh God, oh
Um,
Jesus.
so at Comic Con, lots of people dress up. There's also some very popular art styles on display and for sale at many a booths. So this past weekend was Papa Jerry's introduction to anime waifus.
Oh,
It stopped him in his tracks. He's like, you can just draw that and sell that? I'm like, yes, Dad. Keep moving.
don't overthink it.
He
So
also
did
got like uwu'd for the first time.
I'm glad you were there to support him. But
It's like, what?
so did
I just
did Papa Jerry have a father that was in World War II?
define in World War II.
Well, it's in active service during World War II. Let's start with that.
No, my grandfather was like 10 or so when World War II was happening. But him and my great grandfather were basically like displaced persons or refugees during the war
Gotcha.
because the communists kind of burned the family farm to the ground.
Fucking commies.
Right?
Fucking commies. But anyway, see, I ask that. Quit doing that. But I asked that because I was legitimately curious if your great grandfather was a Marine in the Pacific Theater during this time, because it's been my dream to introduce 100-year-old Marine vet to the concept of anime waifus.
Be like, you did this?
Like, imagine being like 19 or 20 in the Pacific Theater during World War II, fighting tooth and nail with the Japanese for a small, sweltering, shitty jungle island for weeks, possibly months at a time. They you can't get a good night's rest. You can't even let your guard down for a second because they could pop out of whatever tree, bush, or fucking rock. And then fast forward to when you're the ripe old age of 100 and your great grandson is dressing up in anime sailor outfits and like having a waifu and watching anime and playing all these JRPGs. Like, what would go through your head?
I have no idea. I have a great uncle. He fought on Saipan, but he died in the early 2000s.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I had
So
a
that's the closest I could get to that experience.
I had a couple
But
grandpas.
I will have to suffice with seeing my dad experience Uwu for the first time.
Well,
Um,
I personally never met them, but I had a couple grandfathers. Well, okay, I forget what the term for your grandma's brother is.
Great uncle.
Grandpa, that's what I'm going to call him. But I had a couple grandpas on both sides of my family in the Navy in that particular area of the world during that conflict. And sadly, I never met them, but my God, I would love to introduce them to the concept of anime and waifus just to see them have an aneurysm, maybe.
Yeah, it definitely would be different. The one thing that there are some terrific cosplays that happen, even at like the smallest Comic Cons. But there was one that even I struggled with, and there was this one woman who was dressed up as like Dark Knight Rises Catwoman. So
Ooh.
all leather, like it was a legit cosplay, and this woman in heels was like 6'5", and my dad was just staring. And I'm like, "What the fuck are you staring at?" And I like looked over. I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like
God damn.
I was like, "Okay, I can't really fault you for that because I'm like that's actually really fucking impressive."
Oh yeah. And since like you said, we've done Dread on this show before, but I would go so far as to submit the animated Dark Knight Rises parts 1 and 2 because those movies are fucking badass and war on crime, so it counts, so fuck off. Also Cold War because they're fighting over the island of Corto Maltese with the Soviets. So there.
No, okay,
Yeah, see?
fair enough. Um, I think it's about time we rate this thing, and I don't think there's any better rating system than 1 to 5 hammers.
Agreed. I'll go first. I got to give this movie a 5 out of 5, right? 5 out of 5 hammers.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it hasn't aged well in certain aspects, but the biting satire and just the sheer amount of work they put into this, like, I got to give it a 5 out of 5. Like, and that's part of the reason we're never getting a sequel is just because how. Ugh,
I don't want a sequel.
there, you're right. There doesn't need to be a sequel, and also just the hell it was making this movie.
Like, what are they going to do? Like,
Putin.
fucking Putin's Team America saves Ukraine.
By destroying it.
Good job, guys. We destroyed Chernobyl.
No need to thank us. All right, let's hear what you give this movie.
I agree. It's a 5. Like you said, there are things that didn't age well, but this is a super quotable movie. It's from kind of the golden era of like 2000s comedy. And it is absolutely like is it was brilliant in the moment in time that it was made in compare like what was going on in the world at the time. Like it was a very bold move on their part to make this. So yeah, it's a 5 for me.
All right, now let's see what the geniuses at Rotten Tomatoes say. All right, so the fucking film nerds say it's a 77% on the thermometer, and the audience says it's an 80%.
Well, they're both.
Obviously, the audience is right on this,
Well, I was going to say they're both fucking wrong, but yeah,
but
I'll go
audience
with
is
the
closest
audience.
to being right, right? Right.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to mention about this movie. Um, Minor detail: the sidewalk or the walkway in the Paris scenes is paved with croissants. And I heard a story that
I watched this movie with fucking subtitles, and that is the most hilarious thing you can do. You know how many times it's like French gibberish, Arabic gibberish,
Yeah. You
Korean
watched this off
gibberish.
YouTube, didn't you?
No, I did it on Amazon, but
Oh, I watched it off YouTube and they did the same thing. Like the song where he sings about Pearl Harbor sucking, that little piece is called End of an Act. And it's when Act 2 ends and Act 3 begins.
and Pearl Harbor sucks, and I miss you.
I miss you slightly more than Pearl Harbor sucked. But what I was getting at was I heard this story that when they were pitching this to executives, when the movie opens with that puppeteer puppeting another puppet, they just saw the puppet and one of them just like said, "Oh God, they fucked us," and they thought it was like a big money laundering scam until the movie that zoomed out and they saw other puppets moving around and they're like, "Oh, okay, we get it now."
Jesus. So, tentatively, next week, this should be what we're doing. We should be joined by the Civil Weird podcast guys again.
That's exciting.
I know. I've missed them. I thought we had a great conversation with them last time they were on.
Was that the episode that took like 2.5, 3 hours?
Yeah, they were our longest episode.
I was drunk as hell. What movie would we watch again?
That was The Horse Soldiers with John Wayne.
Oh,
a movie so shitty that I went through like 2/3 of a bottle of whiskey when we reviewed it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just fucking blew through my alcohol supply talking about that movie because it is a piece of work. And not in a good way.
Well, we have another great Lost Cause film to do.
You better not fucking say what I think you're about to say.
I don't know what you think I'm going to say.
I want you to say it first.
I genuinely don't know what you're...
No. Just say the movie.
Okay, it's going to be a straight-to-TV release.
Okay, different movie then.
Yeah, it's from the 90s era of like straight, like made-for-TV movies, and it's about the Confederate submarine, the Hunley.
It's going to be one of those Confederate movies, isn't it?
Our brave Confederate heroes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I am looking forward. You know, I actually am looking forward to it because I love the story of the Hunley. Also, it's a submarine movie. So.
Okay, fine. And I know you have the Hunley tattooed on you.
I don't have the fucking Hunley tattooed on me.
He also has Robert E. Lee taking a hot shit on the American flag and saying, "Eat this, Yankee."
Fuck. I went down this like Reddit rabbit hole one day because are you familiar with the subreddit called r/Sherman posting?
Yes.
So for those who aren't familiar, there's a subreddit called Sherman posting, and it started off as just a like pro-union Civil War meme page, and now it's become this like really less jokey and more like
burn the South.
Yeah, it's like a burn the South pro, like it's still very pro-union, but it's like my neighbor flew a fucking Confederate flag. I want to burn his house down, like really aggressive kind of shit. And somebody posted one day about like, oh yeah, Robert E. Lee loved to fuck his horse, and like I spent half a goddamn day looking into this because I was like, not really. Like, as much as I personally would love to be able to call Robert E. Lee a horse fucker, I'm like, that doesn't seem right to me. Like, factually, that is.
But
I couldn't really find anything to substantiate it, really. So
that's a tragedy.
I know his horse is buried with him.
That I didn't know.
Yep. Well, he's buried, or he has like a tomb at a college, and his horse is like got a plot that's right outside of his tomb. But more or less, they're buried together.
More or less, yeah. More or less.
Meh. Anyways, do you have anything?
God, I'm trying to think. Feel like I should have something else that I want to say. Valmorphinize. Yeah, like they use that a lot throughout this movie, and I didn't even notice they used it until now. Like when I watched it today.
Yeah, it
Legit,
was it was a pretty big running joke.
yeah, Valmorphinize. That just didn't click with me until now.
Yeah. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. The stars do matter. If you want additional content from us, you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and whatnot. Discord under Armchair Commanders. Until next week, I've been John.
And I'm Jack.
And we'll catch you all later.
America, fuck
yeah.
Coming again, save the motherfucking day.
Yeah.
America, fuck yeah. So lick my butt and suck on my balls, America.
Terrorist, your game is through.
'Cause now you have to answer to.